friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Elle. I do mostly bookish videos, but sometimes other stuff too. And I'm back. I took a bit of a week off. I just needed to recharge, get the creative juices flowing again. Today, I wanted to share with you some of my favorite audiobooks. I will say this is a fairly short list, but I don't listen to a whole ton of audiobooks. However, within the few that I have read, I found some really great ones, audiobooks that I know I'm going to return to and listen to again, and just audiobooks that really heightened the reading experience and truly made me enjoy a book so much more. For these audiobooks, a lot of the characteristics, a lot of the reasons why I like these audiobooks are pretty much the same. I know what I like in an audiobook. I might sound a bit like a broken record, but I still wanted to make this video because I think a few of these are audiobooks that I haven't seen mentioned on other audiobook recommendations list. I am going to list 5 audiobooks in order of my least favorite to most favorite, but I enjoy all of these. At number 5, I have Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, and it's narrated by Marissa Callan. This one I really enjoy because the narrator did such a good job of building the atmosphere with her voice, which I know sounds really weird. I just felt like I was in that setting. I was in that mysterious world with demon princes. It just created such an atmosphere for me. Kingdom of the Wicked deals with witches and princes of hell, and it is just a very atmospheric book as is, very kind of seductive feel, or at least it felt like to me, but the narrator just truly just heightened it. And again, their voice just had this element of mysteriousness. Their voice truly pulled you into this world, pulled you into the setting, and I really enjoyed it. At number 4, I have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and this was an audiobook done with a full cast, not necessarily every single person having their own voice, but each chapter was told through a particular character's voice. Again, just made it a little bit more realistic. It was fun to hear these characters that you love, just to hear them and the little cadences in their voice. It was just so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I will say Crooked Kingdom, the sequel to Six of Crows, was done by a different cast, or at least the person voicing Kaz is not the same person who was voicing Kaz in Six of Crows. And it was not it. I didn't love the sequel, but Six of Crows, I really would recommend it just as a book in general. It's a wonderful book, but the audiobook in particular just spiced up the reading experience. At number 3, I actually have a series just because it was narrated by the same narrator, and that is the Trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, another Leigh Bardugo book series, and it was narrated by Lauren Fortgang, and Lauren did such an amazing job. Their voice was so soothing to me. Something about their voice as Alina was so incredibly soothing. I was so happy when I noticed that all 3 books were narrated by Lauren Fortgang, and I immediately purchased all 3 books to have, because this is a series that I'm going to go back and I'm going to read again as an audiobook format. I haven't read the Grisha Trilogy as a physical copy, just reading it physically. And I know some people think, or I've heard from a few people who I follow on Goodreads, that the Grisha Trilogy kind of falls flat. It's not as exciting as, let's say, the Six of Crows duology. But I will say, I think Lauren narrating the audiobooks changed the experience for me. I really think if I had read the Grisha Trilogy just as books without the audiobook, I don't think I would have enjoyed it nearly as much as I did with the audiobook. Lauren just does a fantastic job. Also, just slightly changes the voices on the different characters and just makes it an experience. At number 2 is a book that I actually read very recently, and that is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, and this is a Hades and Persephone retelling, reimagining. That in and of itself is captivating, at least for me. Would I say it's like the height of literature? No, but it's a fun book. I would consider this like a guilty pleasure. It's definitely a smutty book. A Touch of Darkness was narrated by Meg Sylvan, and I need to read more books narrated by Meg Sylvan because it was an experience. Meg Sylvan had very distinct voices for all of the characters, and it was so much fun to hear them in the different characters' voices, to hear them as Hades, to hear them as Aphrodite, as Persephone. Like, each voice was so distinct, and I love that. I absolutely love that. And the emotion that they put behind their voice was so good. It was like a 3 stars, but Meg Sylvan really elevated like another half star. Like, it was just so much more enjoyable as an audiobook, and I can't wait to read the second one, although I haven't checked to see if Meg Sylvan narrated the second book, but I really sure hope so because they are fantastic. And now at number 1, my favorite audiobook, my comfort audiobook. I've listened to it, I think 3 times so far, and that is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. And if you did not know, this was my favorite book of 2020 and has to be my favorite audiobook of all time. Again, my audiobook portfolio is pretty limited, but I love You Deserve Each Other. It was narrated by Taylor Meskimen, and they were so good. You Deserve Each Other is told entirely through the main character, Naomi's point of view. And actually, the narrator in this book didn't have a distinct voice for all of the characters. I could just tell that this was Naomi Westfield. I loved the voice that they decided on, the voice of Naomi, because it was so spot on. I truly felt like I was on the phone with Naomi. She was just ranting to me about her relationship. Like, all the dramatic high points of Naomi just hit just right. And then the emotional, vulnerable moments, I mean, touched me so hard. It was such a good book. This is my comfort audiobook. I love to listen to it. I would highly recommend it. I think You Deserve Each Other by itself would have been like a 4 stars, but reading it as an audiobook just truly made it that 5 stars and made it my favorite book of 2020. And those are my favorite audiobooks. Again, I haven't read a lot, but these are some that I just know I'm going to want to reread again, listen to again. All of these narrators have this thing in their voice that just make it so much more enjoyable, so much more iconic and memorable. I love all of these books. I would definitely say you should give them a try. Also, let me know what are some of your favorite audiobooks. I'm always on the lookout for really good audiobooks, so leave a comment down below with your favorite audiobook, or maybe just a recommendation that you think I would really enjoy. Like I said, a lot of these have the same characteristics of why I enjoy them, so if you think you know something that I'll love, leave a comment down below. And that's really it to this week's video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. My name is Elle. I'm gonna go listen to an audiobook now, and I'll see you in next time's video.